Now, in news coming in, the Narcotics Bureau is conducting raids at two locations, one at Rhea Chakraborty's address, that is her brother, as well as one other raid is being conducted by the NCB. Remember, there are several agencies that are investigating this entire case. It's the CBI, the Enforcement Directorate and the Narcotics Bureau as well, and they've been questioning several people, and now the Narcotics Bureau conducting raids at Showik and Samuel Miranda's premises. Well, let's go across to Arvind for more. Arvind, what are the details? What can you tell us about these raids?
Gargi, the Narcotics Control Bureau, two teams have reached two locations in Mumbai. One, the residence of Showik Chakraborty, who is the brother of Rhea Chakraborty, and the second team is conducting searches at the residence of Samuel Miranda, who was the staff of Sushant Singh Rajput. In fact, both the teams are conducting searches at the premises of both these individuals, trying to get evidences, trying to get other materials in connection with the case which the Narcotics Control Bureau is probing. In fact, the Narcotics Control Bureau had registered a case on August 28 after they had seized some banned drug called curated marijuana, which is also called as bud, from an drug dealer, from an alleged drug dealer in Mumbai named Abbas Lakhani. So after the Narcotics Control Bureau took him into custody and then questioned him, Abbas Lakhani gave a lead to another drug peddler called Zaid. So when the Narcotics Control Bureau questioned Zaid, they also got a lead of another person called Abdul Basid. So after joint interrogation of both Abdul Basid and Zaid, what the Narcotics Control Bureau sources are telling NDTV is that Showik Chakraborty was in touch with these two drug peddlers, and he was procuring drugs, curated marijuana, which is also called as a bud, from these two drug dealers. And based on that particular information, yesterday the Narcotics Control Bureau produced these two arrested individuals, one Zaid and second one Abdul Basid, before the special court, that is NDPS court in Mumbai, and then took them into custody for 7 days. So today morning what we are seeing is that Narcotics Control Bureau conducting searches at the residence of both Samuel Miranda and also Showik Chakraborty to collect evidences in connection with this particular case.
Right, and Arvind, so what does this entire case have to do with the Sushant Singh Rajput death? If you could just tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, Gargi, that's a very important question because we all know that after Bihar police registered an FIR, that particular case was taken as a cognizance by the Enforcement Directorate for a PMLA probe. So when the Enforcement Directorate conducted the PMLA probe, they also seized the mobile phones of Rhea Chakraborty and also her brother Showik Chakraborty. They had cloned the data of both their mobile phones, and then when they retrieved the deleted WhatsApp messages, the Enforcement Directorate got certain WhatsApp messages from Rhea's phone, which showed that she was in touch with few drug dealers, few alleged drug dealers, where there were few conversations regarding banned drugs. So the Enforcement Directorate had shared all those WhatsApp conversations with the Narcotics Control Bureau, asking the Narcotics Control Bureau to take cognizance of this particular crime. Narcotics Control Bureau took that as an intelligence tip, and then they had initiated an inquiry into that particular case. But the Narcotics Control Bureau did not proceed in that particular case because that is a weak case for the Narcotics Control Bureau, because they have not seized any drug in that particular case. That is only based on an electronic evidence that was shared by the Enforcement Directorate. So the Narcotics Control Bureau, instead, they conducted searches in Mumbai, and then they arrested a drug dealer in Mumbai, alleged drug dealer in Mumbai, with marijuana, which is a banned drug. So that particular case is a strong case for the NCB because they have seized drugs, around 3.5 kg of drugs in Mumbai and also in Delhi. So based on that particular case, after that seizure, they had registered a separate case. In that particular separate case, they have arrested 4 individuals as of now. And according to the NCB sources, those 4 individuals are having connection with that particular lead is going to Showik Chakraborty and also Samuel Miranda. So in the separate case, now the NCB is conducting searches at the residence of Showik Chakraborty and also Samuel Miranda. And our sources are saying that Samuel Miranda and also Showik Chakraborty will be taken to NCB office for questioning either later in the day, or they would be issued summons to join the probe tomorrow morning.